Back here in Georgia, there's controversy at the state capitol as changes have been made with how elections will work in November. The state elections board meeting is to discuss on voting in nearly a dozen rule changes.
Among them is a proposal requiring all ballots be hand counted at each polling location. Fox 5's Tyler Fingert is live at the state capitol with the details. Tyler?
Yeah, Courtney, good evening to you. It's safe to say that some of these rule changes are controversial just by the sheer number of people speaking out. Some county election officials who were here today say that they're concerned by any changes so close to an election because they're worried it could cause delays in November.
These proposed rules will increase confidence in our voting process and will be virtually invisible to the voters' experience.
The idea that you're not going to listen to the individuals that are charged with conducting elections is absurd to me.
People on both sides of the spectrum voiced their views Friday to the Georgia Elections Board as members looked at nearly a dozen rule changes less than 50 days before Election Day. The meeting comes as ballots for the general election are already in the hands of voters. One of those changes would require poll workers to count the number of paper ballots by hand at each polling precinct.
I don't understand why this big uproar is going on.
Charlene Alexander is one of the people behind the change. Some county election officials told the board they have concerns.
To say that it would not cause delays on election night is not true or accurate. It will cause delays for certain counties.
After a lengthy debate, it passed.
Motion passes 3-2.
That vote went against the advice of the State Attorney General's office, the Secretary of State's office, and an association of county election officials. 3 board members who were praised by former President Donald Trump during a recent Atlanta rally voted to approve the measure, including Janelle King.
This will kind of create that same uniformity. We have another layer just to ensure that the precinct count is right. If the precinct count is right, the county count is right, and then the state count is right.
In a memo sent to election board members, Attorney General Chris Carr's office said state law doesn't allow for counting of ballots by hand at the precinct level, something the board chair echoed after the vote.
It's not grounded in statute anywhere that I can find. And so to me, it's an issue that the legislature needs to take up. If they want people to count ballots after they come out of the machine, then the legislature should say so.
And several other rules were also changed today. All the ones that were changed will take effect in 20 days. We're live at the state capitol tonight. Tyler Fingert, Fox 5 News.
Tyler, thanks.